Here's our hotel in Vancouver, BC. It's nice. This is the Vancouver seawall, and we walked along here last night and it was so full of people just like today. It's really a wonderful area right along the waterfront in Cole Harbor.
It seems like everywhere we go in Vancouver, there's construction happening. It's all over the city. So we're a little bit closer to Stanley Park here, and we're going toward the hotel on this walkway, which is very popular, and all kinds of people walk here, and some of them even sit down and take a little rest.
Phew!
Yeah. All right, you want to go?
Yeah.
I'm standing in the train station. This is the line for the ViaRail that we're going to be getting on here pretty soon. We're here with all the rest of the people who are going to be on the same train with us. And right now we're just going to Toronto.
Hi, welcome to our room. This is the George Little Child room. I just named it that after the painting on the wall. And what you see is basically what you get. We have 2 chairs and a very large window, which is nice. Dennis will show you the toilet. But we suspect these walls will change. We want to leave our room for a little while, even though we really like it. We have this big picture window. We've got both our chairs face towards the window so we can look out. Our room attendant told us that they're serving free champagne down in the activity room, so we're heading for the champagne. Okay, so here's the deal. Anytime we're outside of our room, we have to wear a mask. If we get caught without our mask, we're reprimanded. If we get caught again,
Off the train.
kicked off the train.
And we could get kicked off the train if we wear our mask incorrectly.
Incorrectly.
Like under the nose. Uh-oh, trouble.
Good lipstick though.
Yeah, but here in our room it doesn't matter. We can be masked. We can be masked naked.
And naked.
Yeah.
We could be masked and
Mask naked.
mask naked.
Yeah. Or we could be maskless and naked.
Bye. Hi, it's our first night on the train. Can you see me? And we were pretty darn amazed at how quickly and efficiently they put the bed down. And from my position, it's pretty darn comfy. So I think it's going to be a good night's sleep. See you in the morning.
This is your last call for breakfast in the dining car? Your last call. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's had some coffee.
Yeah, we have.
So this is the picture outside our window, And we've been sitting here now for about 10 minutes, and we heard the train crew talking about them not knowing how long we're going to get to sit here like this.
It's 10:40 Mountain Time, and we are expected into Jasper at 12:05. But now that we've been sitting here so long, that might be extended a little bit. But we're 2 hours from Jasper. It looks like we're going forward, but we're actually going backwards. We got delayed for about an hour because of a rock slide, and now we have to go back to another town and switch to a different track. So, Dennis asked me to explain to the folks back at home exactly what we're going through right now. We stopped at 10:16 Mountain Time, and that's when we stopped and realized, uh-oh, we've got a problem. So we had been sitting here for since 10:16, and it's currently 4 o'clock, and we are still sitting in the same spot. Actually, we backed up, so we're not exactly in the same spot. We backed up for about I'd say 30 minutes. Now we're waiting for engineers, because what happened in the meantime is the engineers can only drive for so long, and then their hours are up. So now we're waiting for 2 new engineers to be brought onto the train. So it's been quite a saga, and in the meantime we took an hour and a half nap.
And we are on our way again. And while we were idling away the hours, we had a lunch and a dinner, and then we came in the room, played a couple games of Rummikub. But it's been a long day. I just wanted you to have a sense of how this worked out. And you know, it just was one of those things. So that was it.
Here we are in Jasper, Alberta, Canada. We only have a 45-minute wait, but we wanted to get out and walk around a little bit, and we remember this town fondly. It's beautiful.
This is the breakfast car, and this isn't the first time we've been in this car, but we have new passengers, and it's quite crowded. But the food's good. It's a fun way to start the day.
Here we are on day 3 of the adventures of Debbie and Dennis. And as you can see, we have come out of the Rocky Mountains and we're into the prairies of Saskatchewan. Very similar to the plains of Nebraska. We just had lunch. I had a delicious couscous salad, and Dennis had a pulled turkey wrap, and we had a berry cobbler. Our days are very similar to what they'll be in the home when we're old. We sit around all during the day and look forward to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Due to our escapades yesterday with the rock slide, and then when we came into Jasper, they loaded 94 more people on the train, so we are currently 8.5 hours behind schedule. Today is Monday. We have one more night on the train. We're still 9 hours late. Anyway, it's just a real contrast from going from Manitoba, Ontario, kind of like going from Nebraska to Michigan, or, you know, that kind of a change. So we expect to see lots of lakes and trees, and it's beautiful. We're in Malachi. Beautiful lake with all these houses around it, boats. Somebody else thought it was a good shot. is Tuesday, our last day on the train. And this morning they started breakfast early. We were here at 7 a.m. And we are going to just have a continental breakfast because they set up a brunch on the last day, so that'll be later this morning. And we hope to be off the train sometimes later this afternoon or early evening.
We just got done with breakfast, and we got back to our little room here, and then we just got an announcement, and we're not going to be able to get into Toronto till 7:30 tonight. You know, anyway, we're 7 hours late. Anyway, this has been, you know, we don't hold it against ViaRail at all. You know, there's a slide, and we had to back up, and then we got all these freight trains we got to deal with, and of course...
And they're backed up too.
And they're backed up too, and freight has the advantage here. Freight is, they have priority. So, you know, we're good. You know, we've been having a good time here. We've been playing a lot of rummy cue, and we've met people that we enjoy talking with. It's been a good trip. It's just a little longer than we anticipated. Well, we made a stop here. They're changing engineers.
But it gives us a chance to get out and walk. The sun was out a minute ago, but it's gone back behind the clouds. It's the weather's nice. It's not cold.
It's nice out here. It's nice just to be outside. We've been cooped up for a while. This is our last night on the train, or this train anyway.
That's right.
And we're on our way to Toronto. It's the next stop, and we've got probably 2.5 more hours.
No, it's
like 2 hours.
7:15, and we're supposed to get there at 8:30.
So we're a little weary, a little tired. We'll be glad to get into our hotel there in Toronto and take good showers. There's a shower here, but you know, we want a hotel room with a good shower, a couple of nice beds, and we'll be happy with that.
Yep. And Dennis is wearing his mask because he's not feeling very well, and he doesn't want to give me a cold, and I don't want one either. But he didn't sleep very well last night, so I'm hoping it's just that
just a cold.
He's tired and so anyway, it's been a really interesting trip. We've met some really wonderful and interesting people, and
it's a good way to travel.
It is. It's definitely a good way to travel.
And you know, on ViaRail, the food was really, really good. Okay, so last night we got in here around 9 o'clock at night. We were both exhausted. But we're in the Fairmont Hotel. It's right across the street from the train station, so we just had to walk across the street to get to the Fairmont. And we're on the 11th story, so this is what it looks like when we look out of our window. At some point, we're supposed to go up into that. Whoops, there it goes, yeah. There we go. And the thing with that is that Debbie is afraid of heights. Okay, so this is our first walk in Toronto. We're at the St. Lawrence Market. And as you can see, there is all kinds of stuff here. And we're just going to kind of wander around.
And find some breakfast.
We're going to look for some place to eat breakfast here.
wonderful day in Toronto at the St. Lawrence Market. Then we walked down to Distillery District. Then we came back.
Hey, we had a nice lunch.
We had
Mexican
a wonderful
lunch,
lunch and a flight of tequila. We walked back and stopped at a Rexall drug to pick up a COVID test, just in case. So we came back to the hotel and we both took the test. And
I tested positive.
I tested negative.
That was
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
The last night in the Royal York Hotel. And so what we had to do was then figure out where we were going to go next, because we were staying in a very, very, very nice hotel that we couldn't afford to stay in for 10 days. I started getting on the internet looking for Airbnbs. I contacted Amy. Our friend Amy and Harp were staying at our house, and Amy is from Toronto, and let her know what was happening, and was frantically, and she said, let me see what I can do. So she started making calls, and within a couple of hours, Amy had found Anne Louise and Doug.
Yeah, we were pretty frantic about hoping to find something, and when we got the information that Anne Louise and Doug would allow us to use their home to convalesce in, I guess is the right word, to recuperate, we were so relieved. It was the gift of stranger. They don't know us, they didn't know us, and they just said, yeah, if Debbie and Dennis need a place, we'll let them use our house, it's fine. And we could use, we ate some of their food, we did laundry. Yeah, and so it was a really pleasant place to stay. When we got there, we were fatigued, seriously. I mean, all we wanted to do was lay around. We didn't have energy to do much else. And Debbie was coughing up a storm. She ended up sleeping in the basement, and I was sleeping in upstairs room because we would have been keeping each other awake the whole time. If she's coughing, I'm coughing. And
so I started feeling kind of crummy.
Punky.
So on Friday, I tested, and I tested positive.
Tested positive. So we were both in a miserable state for at least the first 5 days or so. And that's when we made the decision, because we were feeling so bad. We made the decision to not proceed forward on the trip. And then, of course, there was the hurricane.
Hurricane Fiona.
That's how we ended up there.
In a wonderful house, in a wonderful neighborhood, recuperating from COVID.
We were in North Toronto. It was the perfect place for us for that time.
And special thanks to Anne Louise and Doug. And Amy.
And Amy.
Our angels.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it for now.
That's it for now. Hurricane Fiona came through on Saturday and just did a devastated Cape Breton, where we were going to stay for 2 nights, and Port-au-Box, where we were going to take the ferry over to get to Newfoundland. So not only did COVID destroy our plans, but so did Fiona. So we don't know what our next plan is. Life is full of surprises.
Yes, it is.
And this is a surprise we never imagined, but there's been some great lessons from it.
We've managed to sit back here in this nice little back garden in the afternoons and get a little bit of fresh air. We just got back from a walk around the neighborhood, but this has been a real pleasure for us to be able to just sit out here in the fresh air in this backyard, which we're so thankful to have.
Today is Monday, September 26th, and obviously I felt good enough to take a shower and comb my hair, put on a little lipstick, so it feels like changes are coming. Doug had told us about a park, so we walked down the street and saw lots of wonderful gardens, went around, went to the back, and there was this lovely park with all these dogs barking and yapping and chasing each other. We then walked around the neighborhood and had a nice chat with an older man who talked about he'd been there 100 years. So when he told us that the neighborhood was changing, and one of the things that he said, they're always talking about the housing crisis, but why don't they change the policy so people can't come in, tear down the old places, and build McMansions? Wait, the update is we feel better today. Here we are on Yonge Street, Y-O-N-G, and this is the main drag of the area where we are. And it's a Tuesday afternoon, and we're just out for a stroll.
Now we've decided to take a few little day trips before we get on the plane to come home, and decided that today we're going out to Picton. We're on the freeway 401, and we're heading east up to Picton, and we're on this major highway. We're going to be taking this for a while, and then we're hoping to hit some B roads. So this is our little rental car, and we traveled along the coast here to Port Hope, and as soon as we got off, this is what we saw. Very cool. Now this goes on and on and on. There's way more of this back on this road that I'm aiming at right now, and there may be more behind us, I don't know, but we saw this and we were like, wow, there's a lot of those. They produce a lot of electricity here. So we're still down here on this little road, and we're looking at lots of agricultural activity down here.
Future development. This must be where the folks that commute live. This is definitely a new community. Maybe that's why it's called Port.
New Hope.
It's not. It's
Port Hope. Nice little suburban looking.
all new. Very new.
It's all new. We decided to come down this road here to show what's going on in New Hope.
Port Hope.
I keep saying New Hope. Port Hope. It's just incredible the amount, how this is expanding and growing, and I'm amazed by how much construction's going on here. This is nuts. But this is an amazing little area that we had no idea existed. But there's a little city over there that we'd like to get to. This is Port Hope. We just got off the main highway and figured we'd do some exploring, and this is what we found, which is pretty interesting, pretty amazing. This beautiful little town. What I think is the main street in the town. So as we were driving through Port Hope, we found this river, and all of these folks down here fishing. And I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. We're now at North Beach Provincial Park. We only have 5 minutes to be here, and then we'd have to pay a fee. Here, this is Lake Ontario. We just wanted to show you Lake Ontario
In Prince Edward County.
We've been seeing alongside the road lots of vineyards and wineries. So I'm assuming in summer this place is jumping with tourists. But right now it's pretty quiet.
And this is called the Tasting Road.
And we're now on our way to
Sandbanks Provincial Park. Well, our plan today, all along, was to come to Prince Edward County and go to Sandbanks Provincial Park. So by the time we got to Sandbanks, it was too late. It was getting dark. So we are going straight into the little town of Picton.
So we left the house this morning around 9:30, and we've been driving quite a bit. Now we're at Coldwater, and we're looking for a place to eat. We're going to walk along here, and when we find a place to eat, I'll show you where we end up.
Okay, so here we are in a place called Victoria Harbor. And it is on the Severn Sound. We're about 2 hours north of Toronto. We just finished lunch at a lovely little spot called Coldwater.
On our way back today, the rush hour traffic in Toronto is absolutely insane, just like most big cities.
So we're at the Toronto Botanical Garden, also known as the Edwards Gardens.
So we're in the teaching garden. So there's kind of fun things here for kids. This rock structure, which is kind of cool. So when it's in season, the kids can come out here and they do vegetable gardening as a teaching. And then when the garden is ready to be picked, they take it to a food bank.
Where's your tail? Where's your tail? What happened to your tail? Huh? What happened to your tail? How can you sit like that without a tail to balance you, huh?